I don't pretend to think that race relations overnight will be improved by removing a statue, or I don't think it's that easy. I think race relations are improved by working together as a community on issues that concern all of us. You know, we're elected to serve the citizens of Talbot County, and we represent everybody. Well, I did enjoy the history lesson we got, but there were times when I felt sorry for some people who can live in the past on both sides of the argument. You know, you would see the anger in some of these meetings and you'd think, this is hard to believe that 150 years later, this is so raw in the community to this day. And I had thought that we had sort of as a community gotten beyond some of that, but I think there are always going to be those people on both sides of the ledger who won't let it go. Well, one of the things I think that I admire always about the citizens of Talbot County is their interest in local politics. And I think that this comp plan review situation that we've been under for the last 6 months or so is a great example of the public getting engaged in important discussions. And so there's a lot of angst in the community right now about where is this comp plan going, and I get it. But public pressure has made the difference in trying to take our time with it and get it right. Without public pressure, I think we would have had a very deeply flawed comp plan. Land use and planning issues have always been important to me, and I keep my ear to the ground on all of those kind of issues very closely, and I've been somewhat disappointed with how this council has gone forward with certain things in the comp plan, but I can't do anything about it. I'm only one vote on a council of 5 people. But the public has stepped up and I think done a good job of energizing the citizens to be involved in it. And I think it'll be a better plan because of it. The big issues in this comp plan have been sewer to villages, for example, that we have 23 villages or 22 villages, I guess, and many of these are houses on small lots with marginal or failing septic systems. And when a person who owns one of those properties goes in to add a bedroom or a bathroom or whatever, they're told that their system is substandard, their septic system is substandard, and they don't even have the land to add another section of the septic system onto the house. So they're stuck. They can't do anything with their properties. And in my opinion, we should be running and putting those properties on a sewer line. Number one, because we can clean up the effluent better at a central plant. And number two, because we can make those villages remain viable. If people can't improve their houses, then they're stuck. They can't sell them. Nobody wants to buy them. You basically end up with what amounts to a semi-slum in each of the villages because nothing can ever improve. So the sewer line is very important to get out to those areas to allow people to do things with their properties. I don't want additional subdivision following the sewer line. And that's where it's tricky. If we could just go clean up the bay, clean up the septic systems, let the villages remain viable, but leave the numbers of homes as they are now, that's ideal. Because there are lots of lots in villages that you can't build a house on because they won't perk. So the infill will come in when those get on a sewer line. You'll have lots of new growth in the villages just by virtue of bringing a sewer line to a property that can't have a septic system. That's where your growth can come from. We need to basically clean up the sewage issue in the villages first and do nothing else. Just do that for the next 10 years. You'll have plenty of growth. You'll have plenty of new homes on the lots that can't have houses on them now because they will now have a sewer line to tie into, whereas before they couldn't put a septic system there. So there's going to be plenty of new growth, revitalization, and the villages should be able to thrive if we can get them on, some of them on sewer. Not every village, obviously. It's going to take years for that. But we do have a reasonable plan if we can just limit it to that. Well, I think the economy's improving. So what would make me happy personally is some resurgence of economic vitality. People traveling, coming here, enjoying the area. Yeah. I think the tourism office has done a great job under Cassandra Van Hooser in bringing people here. All the weddings, all the special events, all the festivals that we have. This area is blessed with these kinds of events that bring people here. The important thing that I think we need to keep in mind is, why is this place special, and can we continue to keep it a great place? And that's, I'm very optimistic about the future here, because we have something that so many communities don't have anymore. And we have to be very careful how things develop. Well, you know, the whole dilemma is the dilemma between convenience and quality of life, because you can't have both. If you have convenience, you're in a place like Glen Burnie, Maryland, or some of these other areas where it's just congestion. Northern Virginia. And you can get anything you want within 20 miles of your home, but try to drive on the road to get there to get it. Yeah. And you see what the fine line between, shopping alternatives. And so Easton is a regional shopping area, I agree, but it's so much more than that. And that has to be balanced. Yeah. Every time we lose a 200-acre cornfield to a strip mall development, in my mind, the bank of Talbot County has been depleted. Budget-wise, we're going to have some hard decisions to make. We have 50% of our budget goes to the school systems every year. We've got an aging facility. We've got some big redevelopment and rebuilding construction projects coming up that are on the horizon for the schools. And yet we've got all these other employees, the policemen and the road workers and everybody that we have to manage. And we're a tax cap community, so things don't change very fast in Talbot County. And we have the same issues every year. People want this much money and you have this much money to give. And how do you allocate it?
How's your enthusiasm for the job?
It's been great. I have to say that the comprehensive plan has taken its toll on me personally. I feel like at times I see people looking at me like they hate me, and I don't feel like I deserve the wrath. But at the same time, it goes with the territory. And I've been in public office for 12 years, and it goes in cycles, and it'll work itself out over time.